Hello everyone, my name is Patient. Today I'm going to talk about the Huntington's disease. So Huntington disease is an inherited disorder that causes nerve cells in parts of the brain to gradually break down and die. The disease attacks areas of the brain that help to control voluntary movement as well as other areas. People living with Huntington disease develop uncontrollable dance-like movements, chorea, and abnormal body postures, as well as problems with behavior, emotion, thinking, and personality. Huntington disease is inherited from parents through chromosome 4. It only needs one mutated gene copy to cause the disease. So kids of affected parents have 15 chances of getting it. Both genders can get it because it's not tied to sex genes. In this disease, mutation in the HTT gene makes a harmful form of the Huntington protein due to too many CAG repeats. More repeats means the disease starts earlier and is worse. This harmful protein builds up in nerve cells, causing brain damage in the basal ganglia and cortex. This leads to various motor, thinking, and emotional problems. And so demographics. So prevalence is estimated to be around 5 to 10 cases per 100,000 individuals in Western populations. Has a global distribution, but is most common in individuals of European descent. The age of the onset varies widely, but most individuals develop symptoms between the age of 30 and 50. Early onset Huntington disease, which begins before age 20, is less common but tends to progress more rapidly. The mutation results in the abnormal expansion of the CAG repeat in the HTT gene, leading to an earlier onset of the symptoms in successive generations. Juvenile onset Huntington disease with symptoms before age 10 is rare and often presents with different clinical features. And so I have some numbers here from our research. So this study provides an updated systematic review and meta-analysis of the prevalence and incidence rates of the Huntington disease. The study aims to present a comprehensive understanding of Huntington disease global prevalence and incidence trends. The findings provide insights into the geographic distribution of Huntington disease, considering variations in different populations and regions. And anatomy. So Huntington disease primarily affects the central nerve system, specifically the brain. So here's an overview of the affected organ system, organs and tissues. In organs and the tissues affected the brain. So it targets the brain, causing gradually degeneration of brain cells, particularly in the basal ganglia and the cortex. Basal ganglia, the region plays a crucial role in the motor control and the coordination. Damage to the basal ganglia leads to the characteristics motor symptoms of Huntington disease, including what I mentioned before, involuntary movements, chorea, muscle rigidity, and motor dysfunction. So cortex. It also affects the cerebral cortex, which is responsible for higher cognitive functions, emotions, and executive functions, cognitive decline. Psychiatric symptoms and emotional disturbances are common in individuals with it. Stratum. So this is a critical component of the basal ganglia. Is specifically affected in Huntington disease, leading to this disruption in motor control and coordination tissues throughout the CNS. neurons are particularly vulnerable to Huntington disease effects. The gradual death of the neurons disrupts neuron communication and leads to the characteristic symptoms of the disease. And here, so I got the graph shows the anatomy of it. So location of basal ganglia, the basal ganglia are collection nerve cells located within the brain. They include the following: the caudate, nucleus. It's a C-shape, like here. It's a C-shaped structure, like tapered to a thin tail, and putamen and globus, and the global palators located next to the putamen, and the subdynamic nucleus, and under it, it's a substantial nigra. So the basal ganglia help initiate and smooth out muscle movements, express involuntary movements, and coordinate the changes in posture. So let's move to the physiology. So Huntington disease is caused by mutation in HTT gene located on the chromosome 4, as I mentioned. This mutation results in the abnormal replication of the DNA sequence CAG, which codes for the amino acid glutamine. The mutated gene produces a large protein called huntington, which contains an extended stretch of the polyglutamine residues. This extended polyglutamine residues accumulate within neurons. The exact mechanism through which this accumulation leads to disease are still not fully understood. And so let's talk about the symptoms. So motor symptoms, the early symptoms often include involuntary movements, so which can manifest as jerking, uncontrollable motions. As this disease progresses, motor function deteriorates, leading to rigidity and slowness of movement and dystonia, muscle contractions. So cognitive symptoms, it affects cognition, causing difficulty in memory, concentration, etc. And psychiatric symptoms, some individuals may experience psychiatric symptoms such as psychosis and even suicidal tendencies. Why symptoms occur? So the accumulation of the mutation Huntington protein disrupts the normal functions of neurons, leading to their dysfunction and eventually death. And for the long-term consequences without treatment, it is a progressive disease with no cure. Without treatment, individual with Huntington disease will experience worsening of the symptoms over time. As the disease advances, individuals become increasingly dependent on caregivers for daily activities, leading to diminish the quality of life. Eventually, it leads to severe disability and can result in death, often due to complications like pneumonia or other infections. Survival rate and the mortality rate. The survival rate for Huntington disease varies among individuals and is influenced by factors such as the age of onset, overall death, access to care, and treatment options. And however, it's essential to understand it is a progressive and ultimately fatal disease. The mortality rate is not fixed statistic because it depends on various individual and health care related factors. It significantly impacts life expectancy and quality of life for those affected, and there's currently no cure for the disease. Management is always very important, and such as supportive care. Yeah. And so for the diagnosis, to make the diagnosis of the Huntington disease, a genetic test using a blood sample will be performed. This test is usually combined with a complete medical history and often neurologic and laboratory test for individuals who had risk. Tests can be performed before symptoms, and information from brain scans such as CT, EEG, and MRI. And so for the treatment, so like I mentioned, for the treatment, there's no cure. And so we just focus on managing symptoms and improving the patient quality of life. Medications such as tetrabenazine and can help control the motor symptoms like chorea, psychiatric symptoms and mood disorders may be managed with medications such as the antidepressant and psychotics. So physical and occupational therapy, these therapies can help manage motor symptoms and improve daily functioning. And behavior modifications, such as establishing routines, stay active, adapt diet for swallowing, ensure safety at home, and use assistive devices, have regular medical checkups, and we work with healthcare professionals for comprehensive care plan, supportive care, speech and knowledge therapists and a dietitian can help if you have difficulty communicating and eating because of Huntington disease. For example, they can advise about alternative ways of communicating, such as electronic speech devices or picture charts, and also a high-calorie diet to help prevent weight loss. Side effects and risks. So medications used to manage Huntington disease symptoms may have side effects, including drowsiness, fatigue, and mood changes. Tetrabenazine, for example, can cause depression and Parkinson's disease-like symptoms. Careful monitoring by healthcare professionals is necessary to manage these risks. And for the AI models, the researchers include IBM and CHDI Foundation have developed an AI model to map the stage of the Huntington disease in detail by analyzing extensive data from Huntington disease patients through machine learning. The model categorizes the disease into 9 stages. This provides insights into how Huntington disease progresses and how long individuals spend in each stage. It can help select suitable participants for clinical trials, identify robust biomarkers, and improve trial design. It starts between age 30 and 15, as I mentioned before, influenced by genetics and lifestyle. The model represents a significant advance in Huntington disease research. So that's it. And those are references. Thank you so much.